Recording in progress.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the West Side Chicago Computer Society West Side Computer Club. It is November 7th, and I'd like to say hello to everybody. We have a lot of faces in here I have not necessarily seen before or in a long time. Welcome, everybody. Our typical format will be our open forum, and then we'll go into our presentation, which Bob is going to be giving to us tonight. I'd like to open up the floor with the first question of the evening. Yes, Wayne.
Yeah, I'm getting information on Facebook about Geekom computers. Does anybody know anything about that?
Repeat that?
They're small computers.
Oh, the mini format.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, those things have been around for quite a while. They just, I guess they're advertising them more now.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
got a little better
more people are
processors.
going to them. Is it the 5x5 or a 7x7? They call both of them mini.
I don't know. They've got a whole virtual number of things here. They've got a Geekom GT1 Mega, Geekom Air 12 Lite.
That sounds like the 5x5. Those are laptop grade CPUs versus the 7x7 minis that are regular socketed desktop type CPUs.
Now they're very small,
Right, 5x5 by either an inch and a quarter up to about 2 inches.
Yes, they look like they're about 2 inches,
Yeah.
5x5, something like that.
So what is your question?
Well, has anybody had any experience with any of those?
Bob
All right.
Koenig.
I have had experience with the Intel NUC family, which is now run by Asus. And Asus is changing the form factors and making a greater variety of them available. They have both the 7x5s and the 5x5s and the double high and the single high ones. So they're doing a lot of different things. When Intel was doing them, they were all 5x5s, and they were single boards, soldered in, that sort of thing. I've had a 6th gen, which was Skylake, and it eventually developed some kind of a bad gate in the power supply. And I have currently an 11th gen, which is doing just fine.
And I've had a neighbor that I had examine a problem that he had with, and that was an Intel NUX. His was this one high. I understand from information I had to check on, the 2 high is allows you to put a 2.5 inch laptop style drive, HD or SSD, in the bottom as a second drive.
Yeah, and I can say that yes, indeed, they have the Core M series rather than Core I series, which means it's a laptop type of a processor. And you can get them with the Core I series, especially the 7x5s. And generally, they're not quite as powerful. They definitely are not replaceable, replaceable CPUs. I would not be buying anything much at this point until we see what happens with some of the chips that have NPUs in them for AI.
Now, there's also these N series, the ones that are running with the Celeron processors, like this one I have here from Newegg. Of course, this is just one I just pulled up from one of their ads.
Yeah.
That's the bottom of the barrel.
That's going to be a very minimal system.
Very minimal system, but it will get the job done depending upon what job it is you want to throw at it.
If you want to make a good home theater PC that's going to run nice and quiet, that's a good option.
Right.
Well, Windows 10 with 4K? No.
6 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something that would be a good candidate for a Linux machine?
Well, you got to
Well,
understand
Yes.
in there you have 4K video with
Yeah.
6 gigabytes of memory and a 64 gigabyte of M.2 NVMe storage. Good luck.
Yeah,
Which
that
is not a lot.
It's
I
not
would go to
the
Amazon and take a look at the B-Link. A friend of mine in Florida here just bought a B-Link for Linux that he just started using as his primary Linux desktop, and I think he paid about $500 or $600, but he got a high-end system with an i9 processor in it.
well.
yeah.
The other, if you want to go low end, I would recommend one with an i3 processor at minimum, 8 gigs if at all possible, and a two high so that you can add a 2.5 inch drive in the bottom of the unit. At least
Yeah,
that
there you
gives you,
go. That first one at $300 is a nice looking machine. 16 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of storage.
Yep. Can I say something?
go.
Absolutely.
All right. I just got a mini PC, and the brand name is GMKTEC, and it's M5 Plus. It's a Windows Pro.
GMKTEC, mini PC.
Yes. The M as in Michael 5 Plus.
Yeah,
Now,
the one on the bottom showing on the screen right now is either the smallest or second smallest unit I've heard about, and it's also got the least capability. And if you're doing something extremely light all the time, it'd be fine. But otherwise, the first one, the third one, or the fourth one would be better units. But the fourth one only is a single high, so you can't add a drive in the bottom. Uh, I think you can on the third one, but I'm not positive from what I've researched. And probably that first one would let you put one in too. I think there's a chance it allows for the second, but you have to check it out. Also, if they say they got 4K video, that's fine as long as you got a 4K monitor or TV to plug into. Otherwise, it ain't going to do you a whole lot of good.
Aldo, do we see yours here? I didn't search.
No, and not yet. It's the GMKTEC, then it's model M5 Plus. It's Windows Pro 11 AMD
M5 Plus.
Ryzen 7.
Here it is.
It's
Yeah,
like a blue.
generally, if you do AMD, you'll be paying less than for the Intel of the same kinds of capabilities.
Right.
Does this look like it?
Yes,
And that's a single height.
correct. It's a
Now you
5.
call, Tim, you're saying single height, double high. I'm not following what this terminology is.
Well, that's single high. That's about 1.25 inches in height. It has one internal drive, an M.2 NVMe. Now, if you go to one of the other ones, they have twice the height. Period. And
Okay.
in the
So,
bottom, when you take off 4 screws, you'll have to slowly pull it apart because there's cables going into the motherboard, which is in the top part, and in the bottom part, you can put a 2.5 inch drive. I don't think that has the capability of having a bottom drive. That means you are stuck with one drive, and if the one drive suits all your needs,
Yep.
God bless you. If
Yes.
you want to have extra storage, then you need the double high, to be able to include, if you want to, when you want to, a 2.5-inch spinning hard drive or a 2.5-inch SSD. And you can go on those two, I think up to at least 2 terabyte.
Now, the other option, of course, is you can have external enclosures.
Yep.
And if you have at least Thunderbolt 3, that's usually good enough, at least for Linux. But Windows, I don't personally know how to run it on an external drive, though it can be done.
My external drive does one thing, and that's to back up the main system. That's
Right.
it. That's its only job.
So Aldo, is this system here configured like what you got?
Yeah, yes, I have the 32 RAM and 1 GB memory and 8 cores, 16 threads. Yeah, so far I'm still setting it up.
What color?
Pardon me?
What color?
The one you're looking at, blue,
Blue.
light blue.
Oh, that's a pretty blue.
Wow.
That
Hey,
looks like
hey.
a violet.
Hey, Aldo, did you buy this just kind of like to experiment with, not to use as your regular machine, or did you?
This is okay. I previously was using an all-in-one HP 8 RAM Windows 10, and since it's not going to be updated for 2025, I figure, okay, let me go with another system. So I decided to look at the Mini, and it's got Windows 11 Pro, so that's what I'm working with. And it's more than my needs, so I'm happy with it so far.
Yeah, by the way, about the external enclosures being only good for backup, for Windows that may be very much true, but Linux, you're not going to notice much of a performance hit by using an external drive as long as you have at least what is now called USB 3.2 Gen 2 speeds.
Which this one had that. What I
Yeah.
saw when I was rolling through, it said 3.2.
Right. For
Yeah.
backups,
I do have a question.
for backups, I usually have external hard drives, 1 GB, 2 GB. So
Yeah.
I rotate those.
Yeah, I've got ones that go up to 8 terabyte.
If someone can help explain something to me in this description here for the hard drive, it says 1 terabyte M.2, 2280 NVMe, which I understand SSD, but it says dual slot, max 4 terabytes. Does that
Right.
mean? Go ahead.
That means the physical hard drive looks almost like a memory chip.
Yep.
And there are two slots.
Uh-huh.
So it holds two 2 terabyte drives for a maximum of 4 terabyte.
Gotcha. So in the case of needing room to put in a 2.5-inch drive, you don't need to. You could get away with a NVMe.
Yes.
Okay.
You're buying a Mini. Why would you want a Maxi for a drive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. You don't want the heat generation from that drive either.
Right.
Correct.
It-
because
This is
very
another
clean.
thing with these small form factor PCs.
Yeah, you have
They do tend to run hot unless, well, if you're using the faster, more up to date components, they will run hot. If you're using more RAM and faster RAM, they will run hot. And if you've got a really super up to date processor, that may run hot. And that can be a real problem with the Intel 13th and 14th gen processors because they tend to overheat badly.
and you only have one tiny laptop size fan inside. Period.
Now, my NUC, the entire 5x5 or thereabout, is the diameter of the fan.
Yeah, that's about right. That's
And
what
that's
I
a
had
pretty
on.
big fan.
It's not that big a fan. I mean, give me a break because it's sitting on top of a copper heat sink, and that it takes up quite a bit of space, but it's not 5x5. I know because
Yeah.
I repaired the one that was the neighbor's for the exact reason that the fan died. And it was doing thermal shutdowns. He didn't know what was going on. Once I figured out that was the problem, it took about a week to get a replacement fan.
Yeah.
I used a new thermal paste between the heat sink and the chip just to be sure, because the excess heat can dry out a lot of the thermal paste that are used in our systems. And I didn't want to take that gamble, so I put in fresh thermal paste.
That's the right
And
thing.
so far, I haven't heard any issues with that person's machine.
Yeah, I can tell you that if I do a full virus scan on my NUC, that fan is going to be revving a lot, and it'll be you'll be able to feel the heat coming out of it.
Yeah,
But
uh,
that's
even
that's
on the
doing its job.
one I repaired, once I got the new fan in and a heatsink compound, that sucker ran hot, and he only had 8 gigs of memory, and I forget whether it was 128 gigabyte or 256 gigabyte NVMe drive.
Yeah, I've got a lot more than that in my NUC.
Yeah, and
But I've never had it shut down for thermal reasons.
well, usually that only happens when either the thermal paste dries out, becomes rock hard, doesn't transfer correctly, and or the fan died.
Yeah, and on my NUC, I am able to run from a Thunderbolt 3 enclosure. I am able to run Linux. I Now I don't do a lot with Linux. I don't do heavy graphics. I don't do video editing or anything like that. So I'm not doing anything fancy. But it seems to work okay.
Yeah,
Your
One of the
mileage may
reasons
vary.
why I'm still waiting and haven't decided to use one of those minis, the heat issue
I
is
use the 7x7 minis, which have a socketed CPU chip and either one or two NVMe drives, and usually supports a 2.5-inch drive. Some of them, though, they're 35-watt CPUs, can handle a plug-in card if you have the HP system, and you have one optional port uh, that's different than the two display ports.
Yeah, I think Bob G has a good point about holding off on buying one of these
Yeah,
small form factor PCs because of heat issues.
yes, very much so. Now the 65-watt 7x7, that you can tell because it has a perforated top uh, to let out a lot of heat. But
Yeah.
it's still, you only have in the 7x7s one or two fans. The second fan is for cooling down the NVMe drive and or the 2.5-inch drive, or both.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll add that I've been running a much older Gigabyte Bricks mini drive or mini PC. I've been running it for probably 10 years plus as a Windows 7 Media Center. Yes, Windows 7 does still live. It's sitting in a corner. I don't use it very much. I only fire it up once in a while now, but it used to be running all the time. And I had very little issues with that thing. Never had it do a shutdown on me. It's probably only got, well, it's a Windows 7, so it doesn't have the same resource requirements as Windows 11 does. Um, and I think I got a 500 gig SSD and maybe 8 gigs of RAM in that thing, or 6 gigs of RAM in that. And it's been working just great for over 10 years. Never had a problem with that unit, for what it's worth. Okay. Anyone else got a question? Oh, yes, Harry.
Yeah, can I ask about a different subject? Or?
Oh, please do. I was just about to solicit that.
Okay. So I'm reading about the security concerns over TP-Link's routers. I don't want to get into a political thing about China and so on, but I'm trying to get a handle on the concerns. I never had their router, but I used to have the TP-Link extender attached to a router from my internet provider. A few months ago, when I changed over to fiber, I completely went with their hardware. But I still have 4 TP-Link cameras. The brand they call their brand Tapo, TAPO. A Is there a security concern I need to worry about with the cameras? And what is the nature of the concern? I don't walk around, in my underwear or whatever. And if I did, I don't care if the Chinese Republic becomes aware of that. But are there real security concerns in using my 4 cameras from that company?
Darren was not about cameras, it was about the router.
Yeah.
And it was a patch, and as long as you were up to date, you were okay.
Anything I need to do with the cameras, or that just doesn't apply?
Reboot them.
Well, on
Wait, Tim, let me finish here. Let me finish. An article I just read in the last week or so was talking about the virus that was the malware that was installed in some TP-Link's devices. And the one thing they did say is that it's not something that's resident and can be reloaded. The best solution is periodically reboot the system, unplug it and replug it back in. And then if someone wants to come, they'd have to come in purposely and reload that bad software onto your device. So it's not to say they couldn't do it, but it does not say resident and it does not automatically reload. Tim?
When it comes to the cameras, and that includes baby monitor cameras, the biggest problem with cameras is people do not read the instructions. People do not put in a strong password for each of their cameras and become vulnerable to hackers. Also, I would recommend, whenever possible, putting cameras on a guest account so it's not inside of your normal home network.
So that's a guest network.
Yes.
Right. That was advice, Tim, that you had sent me a while back on a different matter about the guest account. Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
now, wouldn't that cause a problem with you being attached to the main network and wanting to look at the cameras?
It depends upon how you access the cameras. A lot of people use just their phone, not a regular computer and monitor. So it depends upon how they access it. If it's through an app, it won't matter. If it's through a dedicated computer with a monitor with multiple camera screens, that's a different story, and that can be a headache. But there's a way of doing that as well.
Yeah, I have is it T-Link?
TP.
TP-Link camera in my house, and it uses an app on my phone called Casa. And all it needs is to be on the internet. It doesn't matter which Wi-Fi it's on. Because the app is going out to TP-Link and connect and finding the camera that way.
Yeah, that's my app as well, called Tapo, Tapo. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. That was a good question. Next question. New direction.
One thing I want to mention for the meetings this month of CCS, all the meetings are at the normal time except for Linux, which has been postponed to December the 3rd. And December, the first 3 meetings will be normal. Ed Keating with Northwest Group never has a December meeting. So Linux moved from Christmas Eve to the 19th of December.
Thank you. Next question.
I think Dennis had a question.
Oh, Dennis?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that I've been seeing on TV last few days or so the Nord VPN $2.99 a month. Does that sound like a fair
That's I've been
deal?
a Nord customer for about 4 years, and I pay $3 a month, and you get up to 10 devices.
So the
And
$2.99 they're offering isn't necessarily a deal from what you're paying regularly, it sounds like.
um, I pay for 2 years in advance, and what I do is every time my subscription comes due, I contact tech support, and they send me a coupon link to get the same discount that I had before. So
Oh,
you perpetually get the same discount, and you never actually pay the full price on the website.
okay.
Black Friday, 74% off.
And it's a pretty good product, you'd say, right?
Oh, I like it a lot because
Okay. Okay.
it's not only a VPN. It has anti-malware and antivirus. It scans your download files. It blocks advertising and trackers. Um, so yeah, I'm a happy customer.
Okay.
But here the price is much higher. You said, Dennis, it was $2 and something,
$2.99.
$2.99, and they're showing here $4.49 for the plus or the basic. Drew, what version do you have?
Um, I
Basic, plus,
I
ultimate?
signed up before they had all of this different stuff.
Okay.
Um, it looks like Threat Protection Pro, Ad Tracker. I don't pay for. Uh, I guess I probably have the plus.
Okay.
It looks like.
Here, I Googled the NordVPN Black Friday deal. Black
Because if
Friday
you,
deal.
yeah, if you look at the ultimate, it comes with you're paying for the password manager and a data breach scanner. Um, so I have the plus. Um,
But I don't see this 250 a month.
well, when I signed up for Nord, it was about 4 years ago, so the pricing was different. And
Okay.
then I signed up for a $3 a month plan, and if you click on some of these, you might get a discount if depending upon how long of a term you pay for. I pay for 2 years up front.
Yeah,
Uh,
usually they give you breaks at 2 or 3 years, and
and
three
then
years.
it looks like they're giving you 27 months, so you're paying for 24 and you're getting 27.
Yeah.
Right. You get 3 months free. That's what they're giving you.
And then so I paid $3 and change on the main website when I first signed up, and then I've been renewing through the tech support company. I don't renew by going to the main website. I always get a coupon to get a discount. And I pay for their Nord cloud services as well. I have a terabyte of their end-to-end encrypted cloud storage.
Okay. Do you use it?
Yes, I do.
Looks like that's in the ultimate though.
What
Yeah,
about
1 terabyte of encrypted cloud storage. They gave me a deal on it last year. I paid last November on Thanksgiving. I paid $9 for 1 terabyte for 12 months.
Yeah. Hey, I just put a link to the Black Friday deal in the chat. If you go to that link and scroll down a little bit and say get the deal.
Yeah, and plus you can also get a discount if you sign up through somebody who's already a customer, and then you both get a bonus.
Oh. Then they're showing Black Friday, the Ultimate is 72%, and most popular the Plus, 70%, and the Black Friday Basic, 69% off, I assume, on those.
These were the same numbers we looked at when I first pulled this up. So the your link took us to the same page with the same values.
Well, he said scroll down,
Oh.
get the deal or something like that.
Okay. Ah,
Yeah. So it looks like I have the 499 or 449, what they sell for 449 right now.
and you're
With
grandfathered into a cheaper rate.
which they
Yeah.
call the Plus there. Okay, I see it.
They didn't have a Plus and an Ultimate and a Prime when I first. They just had one plan, and I just renew. And like I said, they tech support puts into their chat a hyperlink for me to click on, and when I click on it, it's $3 for 2 years.
Does it matter how many devices?
You get up to 10.
Up to 10.
Well, somehow that price doesn't calculate out. If you look at the Plus there, and it says it's down to $121 for 27 months. Well, that's not $3 a month. That's
$4.49. It's what they have there. I don't know where you got 3. Oh, he's paying 3. You're talking about Drew?
Right.
yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
plus what they're advertising online, their ad says $2.99 a month.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's why I'm questioning that ad that you were seeing that said $2.99 because their cheapest one is $3.59 a month. But in regards to Drew, he's grandfathered into a lower rate.
Yeah, but
And
the one they advertise on TV, it's very blatant. It says $2.99 a month. Yeah.
Hmm.
do they have a code or a special
Like a
word or
promo,
something?
promo code.
If you open a chat with tech
They just
support, you might get a
they just
a
call it
discount.
Black Friday deal.
Yeah, but
Drew was
sometimes
saying
they
if
give
you,
you a code to put in as a promo code that gives you that discount.
Yeah, not on the TV. They don't.
Oh, oh.
well,
Let's see.
that might be an old ad you saw.
No, it's just on TV just a couple days ago.
Plus, they have. I'm looking right now at their refer a friend program.
Mhm.
They may have a discount.
Kind of important to get the right features that you need more so than just price. Right, Drew?
Well, the very basic one for that they have there says that it does not include the threat protection. So that is a VPN only.
Yeah.
And the second one up is the one that includes the anti-malware and threat protection if you want to use that.
And then there's the advantage of having a password manager.
Unless you're using something like
Yeah, I
Gordon.
wouldn't go out of the way to pay for their password manager.
No, not if it costs more.
Would you say it's just not as reliable as other
Uh,
ones that are out there, Drew?
No.
no, it's just that I've been a KeyPass customer for 20 years, and I just don't want to switch to a paid solution that doesn't work everywhere.
I have Bitwarden. It works everywhere, and it's totally free. Gee, now would you like to tell me how you beat free?
Well, he
Pay
uses
for it.
KeyPass, which is free.
Pay for it. That's how you beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get them to pay you instead of you paying them.
While we're on the topic of various kinds of deals, Macrim Reflect. I was an 8 customer, and they skipped version 9 for some reason, and they're calling their 10, they're calling it Reflect X. But I got the upgrade because I still have an active subscription for nothing. And if I want to renew, I probably should not wait till my subscription ends in mid 2025. I should probably pick off one of their Black Friday deals and get, once again, 4 licenses for 99. And then just use the licenses as I wish. But anyway, existing 8 customers, if you have an active subscription, it will just simply automatically update you,
Yep.
upgrade you.
That's what I have.
And so I have Reflect X. Now, things that have changed. It is using a different archive system with a different file extension. So anything you back up from the new version, the old version won't be able to use. But anything from the old version, the new version can use.
This is
That's pretty standard for those kind of upgrades.
so. This is Macrium Reflect Business.
No, it's Macrium Reflect. They only have a paid option now.
Okay, so
I don't think they have. Well, they may still have a free 8 version or something.
There
Okay.
is a free 8 version, but that could disappear at any time. As long as you make the rescue media on a flash drive, hopefully that would still work to restore any backups you already have.
I think that's what their policy is.
So this is 65. What were you paying, Bob?
My last deal was $99 for 4 licenses,
Okay.
and existing existing customers, I have certain deals they can get, and multi-year plans. Again, there are other deals. The Black Friday deals may not be there yet.
I don't see anything advertising Black Friday.
Yeah,
Well,
but I think they will have them.
yeah, that'll be another up to 2 weeks before they probably start advertising it.
Yeah, but until and unless they do, I'm just sticking with what I've got.
Sure. At the moment, you, Wayne Pretzel, and myself, Nat, have the subscription, but I also still use the free version on a lot of my older systems because I don't feel like investing more money into them.
Hmm.
Has anyone else seen any good Black Friday deals pop up?
Not a lot. I've seen a few odds and ends here and there, Nat, but I mean, they're far and few between multiple sites. And I really don't think it's going to really get hot until sometime next week at the earliest. That's my opinion.
Sure. Okay, next question, new direction. None.
Well, I have a question.
Go ahead, Tom.
It may be something you were talking about and I missed it. My system got dropped for some reason. But I'm looking to update to a security package, current security package. Do you have an idea of what I should be using?
It depends upon what you're calling a security package. I mean, Norton is a traditional one, McAfee is a traditional one, and I wouldn't recommend either one of them.
Well,
I'm a Malwarebytes premium customer and happy with that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Avast and AVGs have some decent ones also. I'm not sure that they're the best. And Bitdefender is another one I used years ago, but I stopped using it for something else. And That's a possible one that I know of. There's another one, I think it's called Total Control, but I don't know any real in-depth information on it.
There's
Okay.
also one called Windows Security,
What's wrong with
which,
Windows Defender?
well, that's
Huh?
Windows Defender is now called Windows Security.
There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
And
Bob.
Same difference.
and that is considered baseline
Right.
security for computer systems.
Yep.
Everything else has to have a higher bar to try and get customers, because otherwise Windows Defender is free, but it may not have as good a protection.
Yeah, a lot of folks say you can do better than Windows Defender. For example, I've
However,
asked.
however, you always have Windows Defender, even
Right,
when you think you have security and you stop paying for it and you think you still have it. At least Defender's got your back.
right.
And
If
if
it,
you do anything you shouldn't be doing, really, none of them are going to protect you. So,
that's right.
Mm,
Uh, uh, if you do dumb things, somebody's going to bite you in the butt.
Yeah,
correct.
do the dumb things in a virtual machine.
Now, I wouldn't even do that, and
no.
I've used virtual machines.
I like Drew's answer. That's pretty good. Or don't do it at all. Go, you know what?
Yeah.
Go to the library and do those bad things.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Oh, there's bad and there's stupid. There's difference.
Yeah, the bad things the libraries won't let you do,
True.
but stupid things they will.
That you are right about that. They do block your access to a lot of things, including torrents too. I've been noticing the
That's right.
libraries
That's right. That's right.
are clamping
Because
down on torrent downloads.
you got to remember on torrents, a lot of movies that have DRM are on torrents, and that's multiple computers scattered all about
Hmm.
sharing the same movie with you, and that's technically illegal.
Nothing technical about it. It just plain is illegal.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
technical in the sense that they got to catch you first, and they have a lot of people spending a lot of money trying to catch as many offenders as possible. And that's when you get a notification in the mail that's a legal document that you've been had and you're in trouble.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
good at catching people. They're
That's
pretty
why
good.
you need your neighbor's Wi-Fi code.
Yeah.
That's
Just run a line from their house to your house. And if you hear there's a problem in that, make sure you have a way of pulling that line back into your house so that there's no evidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
You want me
And
really
So
for me to do
Tom,
my
Tom, you were
presentation?
looking any particular security package you were looking at?
Well, I've had something called WebRoot. I still do, but it's been a long time, and I think I'm not happy with it.
I don't think it's one of the higher rated ones. And the
Oh,
thing
it's
is,
not.
when it comes especially the AV, at best you only get 50% of your protection from the AV. And every 6 months, many of the publication houses do testing, supposedly non-biased, on all the various AV packages out there and rank them 1 to 100. And if you're not on the list, forget it. If you're on the list, at least you've got a certain level of protection that may not be the best. And 6 months after you buy in, that could change. You could go from first to last.
Yeah,
yeah,
easily. Yes.
yep. The time to actually consider paying for something is if you keep a Windows 10 computer after next year and you're not getting the Windows Defender updates anymore. You can choose to go, a different route.
And Microsoft has announced that for an extra year, $30.
Are they going to stop giving us Defender updates?
Yeah.
Yep.
I see.
No updates after October 14th, 2025, unless you pay them $30. Then you'll get only security updates for one more year.
I don't
Yep.
believe them.
And that's $30 per license, right?
Yes.
That's still subject to change. If you continue to have 75% of the people using the computer on Windows 10, they, for their own safety, can't afford to stop doing updates
Well,
because
and
their
that's a make.
reputation will be
Will
just
we-
gone.
But
Right.
also the teacher or education realm and business realm already know the second year is double what the first year, and the third year is double what the second year fee was. So 3 years for business would come to, I think, $250 plus 100 and some odd. It comes out to about $450 thereabout.
Yeah, and it probably costs them more than that to retrain the customer, the user, to use a newer version of Windows.
Yeah. You don't know, but that's in business. In education, now, if you can qualify as a teacher, an educator, I think it's $2 or $3 for the first year, around $6 for the second year, and $7 or $8 for the third year. I reported that in a couple of the past meetings.
All right, I threw a link out there to Microsoft Safety Scanner. We've talked about this product before that's free from Microsoft. It is a one-off, meaning you download it, it's only good for 2 weeks. But it's a good thing to use as a tool to scan your systems. If as another malware antivirus scanner, and you run it, let it do its thing, and when it's done, throw it away.
Yeah, it's very limited.
Right.
It's only a little bit better than the one you get every month through Windows Update. There's also Windows Defender Offline, which is also limited.
And I use Malwarebytes free, and it works great, period. And there's an advanced scan that goes deeper looking for rootkits, which you have to run at least 4 times a year.
Yeah, and they also have a product called Adware Cleaner, which
Right.
used to be independent. And these are all looking for different things. They're
Right.
not all looking for the same kind of malware.
Right.
Yeah.
Very much
It's
so.
like my software will, if I get an email and there's a hyperlink that the text of the link is different than the actual link itself. Like, for example, when people send out email through that is certain mail services like Constant Contact and some others that put tracking codes embedded in the URL. My software will not let me click on those links. It'll alert me that there's a link with a mismatch between the text and the link, and it won't let me go there.
Okay, I put in the link for Malwarebytes Adware Cleaner.
Yeah. Malwarebytes offers a browser guard.
Yes, a nice free browser guard.
Yeah, Browser Guard I've been using for years. I do recommend it wholeheartedly. The a free version, usually it's hard to find the actual free version of Malwarebytes, but you can get a trial version that gives you some extra protections for 2 weeks. And then if you ignore their prompts to upgrade money wise, then it becomes malware free. And
Right.
Malwarebytes
Yeah.
is hell to beat.
Yep. So we've kind of beat that topic to death. What's the next one?
Okay, well, let me share this real quickly. I downloaded and ran the Malwarebytes scanner, adware scanner,
Yeah.
And this is what it came up with as a result. It didn't take long. This is only took seconds to do. So it looks like it pulled up the 3 things that are installed in my machine that are from Lenovo. And I don't know why it identified them.
Well, it thinks it's a possibility. It's probably unwanted programs. In other words, junkware that came with a Lenovo. You get that with Dells and HPs also. So that's probably,
Yeah.
they're saying this may be something you want to get rid of.
Correct.
The main thing they flag it for is that it phones home.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's called a
Um,
PUP, possibly unwanted program.
Yeah,
Right.
potentially
yeah.
unwanted
You
program.
are
Yeah.
the one that controls whether you think you want it or you don't want it.
I have
Right.
at least 2 or 3 different programs that have pups. So I change my default from wanting to mark them as pups to a warning. And then I have to look at my list of anything that's found. And as long as it's from those 3, I leave them go. I leave them on my system because when I have taken them out in the past, those pieces of software don't work anymore.
You used to be able to mark it as ignore. Have they
Well,
changed that?
you can do that part too, but and that still does. But every time you run the scan, it still gives them as part of the list. And I have the PUPs as a warning instead of marking, and
Yeah.
right below it is the PUAs, probably unwanted apps. Apps like from Microsoft Store or Google Store, et cetera, et cetera.
Very good. Okay, we got time for one more question or comment or direction that someone wants us to look at. Okay. Boy, Bob, do you want to start yours or you want to wait till 8 o'clock?
No. Let's get it started, get it
Okay.
done.
All right, Bob, you can take control. I will request that everybody mute themselves and not interrupt our presenter. Bob, please take the stage.
Okay, and I appreciate it if you hold your questions until the end. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Here is its importance and why it needs to be important every month. Let me start with a quick story. A friend of mine, one of those people who think they're too smart to get hacked, recently bragged after having the ultimate password. 1234 password. Yup, real cutting edge. He even went so far as to say no hacker's gonna crack that one, it's too obvious. A week later, he called me frantically saying, I think I've been hacked. So I asked him, did you change your password? And he said, no, but I added a capital letter to it. So, folks, if your idea of cybersecurity is changing lowercase password to password with an uppercase P, we got a lot to talk about today. For this presentation, we'll be exploring 3 videos that depict the importance of Cybersecurity Awareness Month in every month. The first one is a general overview of cybersecurity and its importance and the importance of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. The second one digs into cloud security. And the third one is all about the Internet of Things, all those lovely devices that make our life easier. Let's get started. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. It's an annual reminder to stay safe in the digital jungle. Greetings, cyber explorers. Welcome to October, the spookiest month of the year, and not just because of Halloween. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, a time to remind ourselves that the internet, while amazing, can sometimes be like wandering through a digital jungle. There are dangers lurking around every virtual corner, but fear not. With a bit of knowledge and the right tools, we can swing through this jungle like pros. Let's dive into the cyber underbrush and uncover how to stay safe and sound online. The dangers to watch out for. Before we arm ourselves with cyber machetes and anti-malware shields, let's identify the creatures of the cyber underworld. Phishing attacks. These crafty crooks send emails or messages that look legit but are designed to steal your information. They might masquerade as your bank, a favorite store, or even your grandma, though grandma's spelling is usually better. Phishing can come in the form of emails, text messages, or even phone calls, and often involve urgent or threatening language to trick you into providing personal information. Malware, malicious software that includes viruses, worms, and Trojans. It's like inviting a termite colony into your wooden cabin. Yikes! Malware can damage your files, steal your data, or even allow attackers to take control of your device. Common signs of malware include slow performance, frequent crashes, and unexpected pop-ups. Ransomware. Imagine a cyber pirate hijacking your ship and demanding treasure for its return. Pay up or walk the digital plank. Ransomware encrypts your files, making them inaccessible until you pay a ransom to the attackers. Even then, there's no guarantee they'll restore your data. Spyware. This sneaky software spies on your activities, gathering intel without your consent. Think of it as a nosy neighbor peeking through your blinds. Spyware can track your keystrokes, capture your passwords, and monitor your online behavior, often leading to identity theft or financial fraud. Adware. It bombards you with ads, slowing down your device. Picture a pop-up book where the pop-ups just never stop. While adware is generally less harmful than other types of malware, it can be incredibly annoying and may also track your browsing habits. DDoS attacks. Distributed denial of service attacks. Overwhelm servers, making websites unavailable. It's like a virtual flash mob that crashes the party. These attacks flood a website with traffic, rendering it unusable for legitimate users and often causing significant financial and reputational damage. Tools to protect yourself. Now that we know what's out there, let's gear up with the best cyber protection tools. Antivirus software. Norton, Avast, APCUG, and Bitdefender are the cyber equivalent of a sturdy shield and sword. They can detect and eliminate various threats. Make your choice, but remember, only choose one. More is not better in this case. Antivirus software scans your computer for known malware, removes it, and protects you from future infections. Make sure to keep it updated regularly. If auto update is available, leave that turned on. Firewalls. Think of these as your digital moat, keeping unwanted intruders out. Windows, Mac OS, and most operating systems have built-in firewalls. Make sure they're enabled. Firewalls monitor incoming and outgoing network traffic, blocking suspicious activity and unauthorized access. VPNs, virtual private networks. Tools like NordVPN, Avast Secure Line VPN, and ExpressVPN create a secure tunnel for your data, perfect for those who value privacy, like secret agents or anyone using public Wi-Fi. VPNs encrypt your internet connection, making it difficult for hackers to intercept your data and providing anonymity online. Password managers. Tools like Bitwarden, Dashlane, and 1Password help you create and store complex passwords because password 123 just doesn't cut it anymore. Password managers generate strong, unique passwords for each of your accounts and store them securely, so you only need to remember one master password. Passkeys. Passkeys, a new form of passwordless authentication. They work by creating a unique pair of cryptographic keys, a public key that's stored on the website or app, and a private key that stays on your device. When you want to log in, your device confirms your identity, often using biometric like Face ID or Touch ID, and the two keys work together to grant you access without needing to type in a password. Two-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security by requiring a second form of verification. It's like a second lock on your door. Burglars, be gone. 2FA typically involves something you know, a password, and something you have, a phone or security token, making it much harder for attackers to access your accounts. Best practices to follow. Now, let's talk strategy. Here are some best practices to keep you out of the cyber trap. Keep software updated. Always update your software and operating systems. Those updates often patch security vulnerabilities. It's like getting a new and improved lock on your door. Enable automatic updates whenever possible to ensure you're protected against the latest threats. Use strong passwords. Avoid the obvious. Combine letters, numbers, and symbols. If your password is password or 123456, we need to have a serious talk. A strong password should be at least 12 characters long and avoid common words or phrases. Consider using a passphrase, a series of random words strung together. Be wary of links and attachments. Don't click on anything suspicious. If an offer sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Remember, no Nigerian prince is going to send you millions. Verify the sender's email address and look for telltale signs of phishing, such as poor grammar or unusual requests. Back up your data. Regularly back up your important data. If ransomware strikes, you'll be able to restore your system without paying the cyber pirates. Use both local backups, like an external hard drive, and cloud backups for redundancy. Schedule backups to occur automatically so you don't forget. Educate yourself and others. Knowledge is power. Stay informed about the latest threats and share this knowledge. If you can teach grandma to use email, You can teach her about phishing too. Follow cybersecurity blogs, attend webinars, and participate in training sessions to stay up to date. All devices, all operating systems. The digital jungle doesn't discriminate. It's out to get all of us, whether we're using Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, or even a smart toaster. Here's how to stay safe across all platforms. Windows. Use Windows Defender. Keep Windows Update active and be cautious with downloads. Windows Defender is a robust built-in antivirus solution that provides real-time protection. Regularly scan your system and enable advanced threat protection features. Mac OS. Enable the firewall. Use Gatekeeper to block apps from unknown developers and consider additional antivirus software. Mac OS is known for its security, but it's not immune to threats. Gatekeeper helps prevent malware by allowing only trusted apps to be installed. iOS, Android. Only download apps from official stores, App Store or Google Play. Check app permissions and update regularly. Mobile devices are prime targets for attackers. Review app permissions to ensure they're not accessing more data than necessary. Use mobile security apps for added protection. Smart devices, IoT. Change default passwords, update firmware, and consider setting up a separate network for smart devices. Many IoT devices come with weak default passwords that are easy to hack. Regularly check for firmware updates to patch vulnerabilities. Isolating smart devices on a separate network can prevent a compromised device from affecting your main network. In conclusion, Cybersecurity Awareness Month is the perfect time to take stock of your digital safety. Think of it as fall cleaning for your cyber life, but with fewer dust bunnies and more malware scans. Stay alert, use the right tools, and follow best practices to ensure your journey through the digital jungle is a safe one. Remember, the internet is a wonderful place when you know how to navigate it. Happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and may your digital travels be secure and scam-free. Next, we're going to concentrate on cloud security. And during this presentation or this video, you'll hear me mention Application Program Interface, API. Remember that abbreviation and the meaning of it when you hear it. Safeguarding your data in the digital sky. In today's digital age, cloud services have become the backbone of modern businesses and personal storage solutions. The convenience, scalability, and cost-effectiveness of cloud computing are driving its widespread adoption. However, with great power comes great responsibility. Ensuring data security in the cloud is now more critical than ever. Let's dive into the world of cloud security and explore how you can protect your data in the cloud. Why cloud security matters. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty of cloud security, let's understand why it matters. Imagine storing all your valuable possessions in a vault that you don't control. While the vault is incredibly convenient, if someone breaks into it, your valuables could be at risk. The same applies to cloud storage. The cloud offers unparalleled convenience and efficiency, but it also exposes your data to potential threats. Understanding the threat landscape. Cloud environments can be vulnerable to various security threats, including data breaches, unauthorized access to sensitive data stored in the cloud, data loss, accidental deletion, or corruption of data without a backup, account hijacking, attackers gaining control of user accounts through phishing or other means, insider threats, malicious actions by employees or contractors with access to the cloud environment, insecure APIs, vulnerabilities in cloud service APIs that can be exploited by attackers. Now that we understand the threats, let's explore the best practices for avoiding, protecting, and recovering from these potential pitfalls. Best practices for avoidance. Choose a reputable cloud service provider. Ensure your cloud service provider complies with industry standards and regulations. Look for certifications like ISO 27001, SOC 2, and GDPR compliance. Evaluate the CSP security measures, including encryption, access controls, and threat detection. Implement strong access controls. Use multi-factor authentication for all accounts. Enforce the principle of least privilege by granting the minimum level of access necessary for users. Regularly review and update access permissions. Secure your APIs. Use secure API gateways to manage and monitor API traffic. Implement rate limiting and authentication mechanisms for APIs. Regularly test APIs for vulnerabilities using penetration testing. Best practices for protection. Encrypt your data. Encrypt data at rest and in transit using strong encryption protocols. Use key management services to manage encryption keys securely. Ensure end-to-end encryption for sensitive data. Regularly update and patch. Keep your cloud infrastructure and applications up to date with the latest security patches. Use automated tools to manage and deploy patches efficiently. Regularly audit your system to identify and fix vulnerabilities. Implement intrusion detection and prevention systems. Deploy IDPs to monitor network traffic and detect suspicious activities. Use machine learning and AI-based tools for advanced threat detection. Regularly update your IDPs with the latest threat intelligence. Best practices for recovery. Back up your data. Regularly back up your data to a secure off-site location. Use automated backup solutions to ensure consistency and reliability. Test your backup and recovery procedures periodically to ensure they work effectively. Develop an incident response plan. Create a detailed incident response plan outlining steps to take in case of a security breach. Assign roles of responsibilities to team members for efficient incident management. Conduct regular drills and simulations to prepare for potential incidents. Implement continuous monitoring. Use security information and event management systems to monitor your cloud environment continuously. Analyze logs and alerts to detect and respond to threats in real time. Regularly review and refine your monitoring processes to adapt to evolving threats. Conclusion: ensuring data security in the cloud might seem daunting, but by following these best practices, you can significantly reduce the risk and protect your valuable data. Remember, cloud security is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing process that requires constant vigilance and adaptation. By choosing a reputable CSP, implementing robust access controls, encrypting your data, and preparing for potential incidents, you can enjoy the benefits of cloud computing without compromising on security. Stay safe, stay secure, and happy cloud computing. Last but not least, the Internet of Things. All those smart devices that connect to our network. All those devices that make our life a bit easier. Navigating the challenges of the connected world. Welcome to the world of the Internet of Things, where everyday objects are connected to the Internet, communicating with each other and making our lives easier. From smart refrigerators that tell you when you're out of milk, to wearables that monitor your health, IoT devices are transforming how we live, work, and play. But with great convenience comes great responsibility, especially the responsibility to secure these devices from cyber attacks. Why IoT security matters. Imagine a world where your coffee maker, thermostat, and even your car can be hacked. It sounds like a sci-fi movie, but it's a reality in our increasingly connected world. IoT devices, while incredibly convenient, often come with security vulnerabilities. These can range from weak passwords and lack of encryption to outdated software and unsecured network connections. The stakes are high. Compromised IoT devices can lead to data breaches, financial loss, and even physical harm. The growing challenge. The challenge of securing IoT devices is growing as their numbers skyrocket. According to estimates, there will be over 30 billion connected devices by 2025. Each device is a potential entry point for cybercriminals, making IoT security a critical concern for individuals, businesses, and governments alike. Let's delve into best practices for IoT security. Securing IoT devices might seem daunting, but following some best practices can significantly reduce the risk of cyber attacks. Here's how you can avoid, protect, and recover from IoT security threats. Number 1, avoidance. Preventing security issues before they arise. Research before purchase. Not all IoT devices are created equal. Before buying, research the manufacturer's reputation for security. Look for devices with regular software updates and robust security features. Secure your network. Your home or business network is the gateway to all your IoT devices. Ensure your Wi-Fi network is secured with a strong password, and encryption such as WPA3 or better is recommended. Consider setting up a separate network for your IoT devices to isolate them from your main network. Change default settings. One of the easiest ways for hackers to gain access to IoT devices is through default usernames and passwords. Always change default settings to unique, strong passwords. Disable unnecessary features. Many IoT devices come with features that you might not use, such as remote access. Disable any features that are not necessary to reduce the attack surface. Number 2, protection. Defending your devices against attacks. Regular updates. Keep the firmware and software of your IoT devices up to date. Manufacturers release updates to patch vulnerabilities and improve security. Use strong, unique passwords for each IoT device. Use strong, unique passwords that combine letters, numbers, and special characters. Consider using a password manager to keep track of them. Enable multi-factor authentication. If available, enable MFA on your IoT devices. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring a second form of verification, such as a code sent to your phone. Monitor your devices. Regularly check the activity of your IoT devices. Look for unusual behavior, such as unexpected changes in settings or increased network traffic, which could indicate a security breach. Number 3, recovery. Responding to and recovering from security incidents. Have a plan. Prepare a response plan for IoT security incidents. This should include steps to isolate affected devices, change passwords, and contact the manufacturer for support. Backup data. Regularly backup data from your IoT devices. In case of a security breach, having backups can help you restore your systems quickly. Reset devices. If you suspect a device has been compromised, reset it to factory settings. This can remove malware and other security threats. Stay informed. Keep up with the latest IoT security news and updates. Cybersecurity is a constantly evolving field, and staying informed can help you anticipate and mitigate new threats. Conclusion: the proliferation of IoT devices offers incredible convenience and innovation, but it also introduces new security challenges. By following best practices for avoidance, protection, and recovery, you can significantly reduce the risk of cyber attacks and enjoy the benefits of a connected world safely. Stay safe, stay secure, and remember, in the world of IoT, security is not a one-time task, but an ongoing process. If you have questions, now's a good time to ask. Let's hope I have the answers. I invite you to join us Mondays and Thursdays for Tech for Seniors, and you might even find some answers to your questions on my YouTube channel. Let me stop sharing, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. You're muted.
I know. I was like, what? No questions? Come on. There's got to be a ton of questions. Okay, wake up. Everybody got that? We got questions? Bob, that was a great presentation that you did.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Good thing is you have it recorded, so if you have a question, you can always go back and rewatch it.
Yeah,
Or
it
go to
will
my
be posted.
YouTube
This
channel
all
and
will be
watch it
posted on
there.
YouTube.
Yep.
I will make one comment. I didn't think of it before Bob's presentation. In Malware Bytes, if you get a paid package, you get a firewall control piece of software. But that same piece of software is available free if you use the free and trial versions of Malware Bytes. The problem is it gets to be a little hairy learning how to uh, both protect yourself highly with the firewall and at the same time too go through some aggravation from time to time.
I've
I'd
always
probably have to,
found Windows Firewall has done an excellent job on my end. I've
well,
never had a problem, and it's been the least interruptive for me.
using the malware firewall, I have several machines that have extra security to them. They'll even stop good programs because some of your online account stuff and browsers are constantly changing some things, sometimes because of security issues. And suddenly those don't work. You just have to go into the firewall control panel and make some changes, and you're back in business. I had that this evening, even.
Bob, you've got your hand up?
Yeah. A couple of things. First of all, about phishing. Artificial intelligence, AI, LLMs, are being used by the attackers, and they are making much more realistic and less grammar impaired phishing emails. It's getting hard not to get fooled. The second thing is, not only do your more familiar operating systems have firewalls available, Linux also has a firewall, which in most distros is not turned on by default. So you do have to turn it on.
Good information. And as far as phishing goes, they've gotten very, very uh, good at their craft. We have to be more suspicious. We have to know, is it really coming from a place that I normally use? And if you aren't sure, call them direct, not through anything in the email, but it's company you use. You should have contact information for them and verify that they've actually sent you an email, especially if it says there's a problem, click here to correct it. That's an obvious, but people fall for this constantly.
Constantly. To the tune of millions of dollars.
Yep.
Terry, yes.
Bob, what are some of the more common LOT advices? Well, that you're aware of or whatever. For those that aren't that familiar.
I didn't quite understand what.
What are some of the more common LOT devices?
LLC.
IoT.
Or IoT.
Are you talking
IoT?
IoT.
Okay, the most commonly used is, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want things going off in my house and your house. Miss A. That the device that you talk to, that you ask to set timers, to set up alarms, to ask for the weather, all kinds of things. Google also offers a device that does the exact same thing. I have those in my house too, so I won't say, hey, you just, Mr. G is the one that does it. You have vacuum cleaners that you can start automatically. You have doorbells, you have door locks, you have cameras, you have
Smart
thermostats. There are a myriad, and as I said, by 2025, they expect 30 billion smart devices to be in use. Main protection for that, because they need your internet. Some things really don't need the internet, they just need network connection. Your smart vacuum cleaner, as long as it has access to the network, that's fine. It doesn't need outside information. But, people say, okay, I need internet access. Well, internet and network are two different things. You can have something have access to the network, but it never communicates with the outside world. The network is inside your house. Network is communicating with the outside world. And you should separate the smart devices from your home network. They should be on their own network. That way, if something goes wrong, it doesn't affect the entire network and all of your personal stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How many here have IoT devices in their house besides me?
Many,
Yeah.
many of them.
Many.
Yep.
I mean, it could be even a Wi-Fi extender could be an IoT device. The one that's on your phone that you say, "Hey Siri," something like that. There's one right there.
Yep.
It's on your phone, but they have other devices too, and they're all over the place. Next thing we know, you're putting those cameras on your front door. If you use an app to access something you installed in your house, it's an IoT device. I have a plethora collection of IoT devices, including thermostats, water leak detectors that are distributed throughout my house. I have one that sits in my freezer that will notify me if my freezer starts to thaw out. I'll get a notification that my temperature in the freezer has gone up. And that's because I got a big chest freezer that have a lot of meat in it, generally, not right now. What other kind of devices do I have? Boy, I got
I have
doorbells.
9 cameras alone.
Yes, I'm with you on that. I got cameras all over the exterior of my house.
I have a camera that's inside the garage. Its
Okay,
main
same
job
here.
is to make sure that I don't forget to close the garage door.
Very good point, because and that's a very good point. I have one for the exact same purpose, where either my wife and I have left the house and we go, "Dang, did we close that garage door?" And you're traveling on your journey and you don't know, So
Yep.
it's a quick turn on that camera and take a look. Is there light, sunshine coming in, or is it dark?
Well, that's brings up another issue. Sometimes, because garage door openers have a trip mechanism to try and prevent children from being crushed by the door, you may have wind, especially in the fall, with falling leaves and or cobwebs from spiders that interfere with that device. So you may be closing your door properly, but you walk away as it's closing and then find out later on it's still open.
Right, because some leaves suddenly blew in right at the moment it was closing, and it hit that
Yep.
detector that sends a light beam across,
Right.
and the door just opens right back up. An excellent reason, like Bob had said, he has one in his garage, and I do too, for that exact purpose. And it has happened to me.
I'm one of those people that likes their wise cameras. They're excellent quality. Uh, I can't say enough about them. Their prices are also very good.
Mm-hmm.
You have updates constantly. If there's an issue, there's always an update.
In the past, I don't know if it still exists, at Home Depot handled Wise cameras, and they had starter
They'll do.
kits. They had two, a lower priced one and a higher priced one.
Well, Wise makes many different types of cameras. They can be stationary. They can be the kind that need a plug or that use battery power. Uh, they have ones that rotate diagonal and also they go up and down. So I get almost a 270-degree field and it follows objects. It recognizes people, pets, your packages, all kinds of stuff. So they have come a long, long way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I have 9 of them.
Anyone
When
else
I'm
here
away-
use security cameras or IoT devices they'd like to discuss? Harry, what are you using?
ADP for the, for the, alarm system.
Okay.
Yeah,
Harry
mine
Hauser.
goes through Wise, and it also has monitoring, and they do an excellent job. But I pay $15 a month.
Oh,
That's not what you pay for ADT.
no.
What's it cost for ATT?
ADT.
ADT. What does that
Yeah.
cost a month? Isn't that like $40 a month, something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, you don't know. You don't pay the bill.
Oh, I pay an annual fee or whatever, yeah.
And what's that cost?
Probably 200-300 or something,
Oh, wow, 200 or 300.
over 12 months.
Well, Simply Safe is in the low 30s, and times 12, is almost.
Yeah, I had Simply Safe, and when I had started having Simply Safe changed, I had the old system, and there was no way to upgrade the old system. I had to buy a brand new system, and that's when I said, no, why would I do that when I can get the system from Wise, and I wind up paying a fraction per month that I was paying for the other one. So that's when I made my change. My house doesn't need a whole lot. It's got a front door, a back door, a motion sensor. I don't bother with the windows. People want to go through windows, that's fine. But the front door and the back door is protected, and it has motion sensor, and that's all I care about. And besides that, my cameras, I can watch them from anywhere. And if someone does get in, the police get notified.
One of the nice features with Simply Safe is as long as you continue the monitoring, the monthly monitoring, they guarantee all components, and I've already had to replace two. A little bit of an inconvenience, but totally at their expense.
Okay, that's good.
I'm sorry, Harry, what system was that?
I
Simply
have
Safe.
Simply
Oh,
Safe.
Simply Safe. Okay.
And one contact on a door went, and one motion detector. Wouldn't be very expensive, maybe $30, and the other one maybe 60. But when I called service and I asked about the guarantee, they said, no, you understand correctly. They gave me an authorization number, and they sent me a bag to include, so they paid the shipping both directions. They want it back because they want to see if it legitimately is broken, which is valid. So for a few days I was without it, but
One thing I will say that's good about Simply Safe is they don't use Wi-Fi. They use a phone. And for me, by default, the phone that's in it, the sensors that's in it for the phone is T-Mobile. That's their default. Well, T-Mobile by me didn't work. So they sent me another module that used Netflix. Netflix. That'll be the
Oh, you're watching movies.
day.
Yeah.
But they sent that to me with instructions, and then I had somebody on the phone with me, and it was simple to change the module. Sent them back the one from T-Mobile, and I was in business. So their service is excellent.
yes.
Any other questions for me?
Well, actually, Bob, I do have a question. One, that was a great presentation, but my question is, how long did it take you to put together a presentation like that?
Creating the videos is what took a while, especially the longer one. But even that, I do lots and lots of videos, so I am pretty knowledgeable in the software that I use, and I have my set pattern of how I produce my videos. So you could probably say maybe 3 hours to put together the long one, and maybe an hour and a half for each of the two shorter ones. And the rest is just, it's PowerPoint. Just embed the video in the PowerPoint, and that's it. Finished.
And you start out writing a script, which takes you some
Yes.
time to
Yes.
do the script. So,
Yep.
That takes time to write it. And then you have to, I'm trying to put this piece together what you were doing when you created this one, because I find this fascinating.
Well, there's a script. Then I feed that script into an AI that gives me the B rolls, the background rolls, based on the information in the script. Sometimes it gets it right. Sometimes I have to go look for other things or create them. But most of the time it's pretty spot on. And I like to use my own voice, so I do my own narration. And that's slide by slide. You do the narration as it creates the B rolls in the background. And
So where are you getting the free videos that you use to put?
no, it's not. It's not free. It's a paid. It's a paid product.
Okay, so you paid for
24
that.
bucks a month for the B rolls. That allows me to create videos up to 20 minutes. And 15 minutes was way more than I want to.
Yeah.
Most of my videos are between 5 and 10 minutes. Instructional videos could be a minute, could be less than a minute. It all depends on what the topic is.
And then what software do you use to actually put this all together?
I use ScreenPal. Used to be called Screencast-O-Matic. I have the pro version of that, which cost me $36 for 3 years. That's what does all the editing, does the upload to YouTube.
Okay. I could see this as being have you ever done a presentation on how you do a presentation?
Yes, I
Okay.
have.
So
Yeah.
this is in your archives.
It might be.
It might be.
It
Is
might be. It
is it
might not.
something?
It may not have been one I've done for
Might-
APCUG.
Yeah,
Okay.
it might be time for a 24-25 update.
Yeah, right.
Well, I could see this topic as being a great future presentation on how you put together a presentation and just walk us through it. I think this is fascinating. I've never done one similar to what you do, and I look watching it. It's beautifully put together.
If you haven't tried using ChatGPT or Copilot to put together, like a basic outline, you could start off by asking it to create a simple bullet point outline for what you want to talk about, and then that gets you started, and then you can fill in the details.
If you're crafty enough, you can get it to do the whole thing for you.
So
You just have to be proficient in the prompts.
before AI, which this is more of a recent thing, how are you doing it before AI?
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. Okay.
Yep.
So now you were able to put together one that has videos and stills, and you incorporate it all together. It runs very fluid, really well done. And I just admire that the technique that's used, and AI has really helped you a lot with
Yes, yes. Without AI, what I just did for you tonight would have probably taken me a month to put together.
I could see that. And which AI are you currently using for, or which AI did you use for that video?
My favorite is ChatGPT, and I pay my 20 bucks a month for ChatGPT.
Wow.
It's the one that I find is worth paying the 20 bucks for.
So you're using the one that gets you the video incorporation in there.
No, the video you can get it to make, that's not videos, it can make images for you.
Gotcha.
Okay, but what I use for the other one, the one that does the B rolls or the background, that's called Pictory. Pictory.ai.
Anyone else got any questions for Bob? No? Do you think, a conversation or discussion that most of us in our age group is people that become susceptible to long-term, and I don't have the right terminology to use, but long-term, I don't want to say hacking, but when people are in it for the long time game of getting your confidence so that eventually they'll get you to go and give them a lot of money. And it's the long game. That's the right way to put it. Where they'll contact you on Facebook or something, and you're looking for maybe a date or a friend or something like that. And they suddenly become your friend. Next thing you know, which you don't know, you could be the smartest person in the world and succumb to this so easily because they're in it for the long game, and they'll play you over months of time.
Sanford, I put a link in the chat for the Pictory if you want to give that a try.
I
They
will
have a trial,
absolutely.
and then of course they have the paid version.
Sure. I
But
see
it's
that.
the one that creates the actual background and everything else. It even has AI generated audio that you can use if you don't want to do your own narration. You just simply pick a person, male or female, and you wind up going from there.
That's a good software. Okay. How did I get here? Oh, I'm going to stop. Remove pin. Okay. Anyone have any other last comments or questions for Bob? If not, I'll say thank you, Bob. I realize
Good night, folks.
Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Okay.
Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, what a great presentation. Anyone else got any questions for the group? Comments?
Excellent.
I've been trying to get you to use APCUG's speaker bureau for a long time, and I used Bob myself net 2 consecutive years. Same general presentation concept.
Right.
And for those that don't know it, Bob G is one of the main presenters every Monday on Tech for Seniors. Meetup time starts at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. The main meeting presentation starts at 11, ends at around 12, and then he has up to 20 minutes of Q&A.
And this is all included with everybody's being a member of Chicago Computer Society. They can join into those APCUG meetings, can they not?
That's correct. Also, the TFS doesn't require any kind of a membership per se. You can just join it irrespectively.
Mm-hmm. And also, as a reminder, our videos will be posted on YouTube under the Chicago Computer Society's page. Feel free to look us up. If the links are embedded in the emails that you receive, if you need to find our playlist, this video will become available in about 4 to 5 days. And anyone else have any questions? Nope. With that, I'll conclude tonight's meeting and thank everybody for attending, and we'll see those coming up next week will be tips and tricks on Tuesday.